Hey, I'm Benji, and I'd like to introduce you to Object.assign. I started this channel to share things that have made my life as a coder easier and therefore more fun, and Object.assign is something I use all the time. If you're already familiar with the extend method from Lodash or underscore, then you already know how to use Object.assign. But if not, you should have a pretty good grasp by the end of this video. Object.assign takes any number of objects as parameters and basically matches them together. One thing to keep in mind is that the first argument is going to be treated differently. It's going to be modified by Object.assign. Let's take a look at an example. So we're going to create an empty object called obj just by typing a couple curly braces. And we're also going to create a taco. Taco is going to have a food property with a value of taco. And if we pass obj and taco into Object.assign and then log out obj, you can see obj is now a taco too. So you can see how Object.assign can be used to make copies of objects. A more concise way to do this would be to skip declaring obj and create and pass it in as an argument at the same time. And you can see here we will get the same result. Alright, let's smash some objects together. Let's update our taco to be a saucy taco. Be a taco with sauce of hot sauce. And we'll also create a creamy taco. And it's going to have a boolean value, has sour cream, and that will be true. We smash those two tacos together and then output the result. You can see our saucy taco now has sour cream, and our creamy taco is left alone. But you might have noticed both of these objects have a food property, and in this case their values happen to be the same, taco. But what if they were different? Let's go back to our regular taco, and let's also create a burrito. And we'll say Object.assign taco burrito, and then log each of those guys out. Uh-oh, our taco is now a burrito. So why did this happen? Well, with Object.assign, the properties of the rightmost object passed into it will always take precedence. So in this case, burrito is passed in last, so burrito's food property is going to take precedence over taco's food property. But if we did this, remember we can create a copy of taco by passing in first an empty object and then taco itself. And then if we pass taco burrito and taco copy into Object.assign, taco is a taco again. And the reason for that is taco copy is passed in right of burrito is passed in right of taco. We can also use Object.assign to add properties to our objects. For instance, we could just say Object.assign taco and then pass in an object literal that has the has sour cream property. And if we log out taco again, now our taco has sour cream on it. So you'll get the same result whether you do this or say taco.has sour cream equals true, or simply putting the property right on the object literal. Now, Object.assign doesn't just change the first parameter, it also returns its new value. So if we go back to this and then capture the return value, we can then compare taco to taco copy, and they should be the same. And you'll see here they are. And we established that Object.assign has the side effect of modifying the first argument passed into it, which can do things like turning a burrito into a taco and vice versa. Let's look at that again. So now we've got a taco with hot sauce and a burrito. Let's say we want to get some of that taco hot sauce on a burrito. Well, you might think since we're trying to create a burrito, it would just pass burrito in as the first argument to Object.assign. So let's log out our taco and burrito and see what happens. Well, our burrito has hot sauce on it, but it's a taco now. So let's see what happens if we flop them around. Well, now taco's become a burrito, and our burrito still doesn't have any hot sauce. What we really want to do is create an empty object that we can smash up with burrito and taco. So let's create that object, and we'll call it saucy burrito. Now if we pass saucy burrito in first, and then we can log all those guys out, you can see taco wasn't modified, burrito wasn't modified, and now we've got a burrito with hot sauce, exactly what we wanted. Or more succinctly, we can just assign saucy burrito to the return value of Object.assign and pass in an empty object as the first parameter. And you can see we get the same result here. And since we're no longer modifying our variables, we can declare them with const instead of let. So what we're doing here is avoiding the side effect of Object.assign by passing an empty object as the first parameter. Personally, this is how I always use Object.assign. It's the more functional approach, and I think it's easier to understand and reason about. Now let's do one final example to better illustrate the power of this function. We're going to have a saucy taco, and we're going to have an edible taco. With an eat function on it. And we're going to create an edible saucy burrito by smashing up an empty object with our saucy taco and our edible taco and our burrito. So now we should be able to log out saucy burrito, or edible saucy burrito.sauce, and we should be able to say edible saucy burrito.eat. And you can see we have hot sauce on our burrito and we're able to eat it. You might not realize it, but we've just used a form of inheritance called composition and a design pattern called mixins. For more on composition and why it's often preferred to prototypal inheritance, be sure to check out MPJ's excellent video, Composition over Inheritance, on his channel FunFunFunction. I've also included a link below to a resource where you can learn more about mixins. Thanks very much for taking the time to check out this video. Please leave me some comments so I can continue to improve the series. Until next time, have a good one.